Day 671 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again. Another day, another LeetCode problem where we're doing daily LeetCode problems. And today we have question number 830, positions of large groups. The difficulty level is easy, so don't worry because you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as possible. But before we get started, y'all, don't forget to like, hype, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go and check out this link in the description so you can get you some. Now let's see what the question says. In a string S of lowercase letters, these letters form consecutive groups of the same character. For example, a string like S equals a string A, B, B, X, 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 Z, Y, Y has the groups A, B, B, X, 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 Z, and Y, Y. A group is identified by an interval start and end, where start and end denote the start and end indices inclusive of the group. In the above examples, X, 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 X has the interval 3 and 6. A group is considered large if it has 3 or more characters. Return the intervals of every large group sorted in increasing order by start index. Okay, y'all, so that sounds simple enough, but let's go ahead and take a look at these examples just to make sure that we are doing this problem correctly. So, in example 1, we have our input S equals a string A, B, B, X, 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 Z, Z, Y. The output is a 2D array of integers, and the only array is 3 and 6, or has integers 3 and 6. Explanation says the group X, 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 X is the only large group with the start index 3 and end index at 6. So, just to break this down one step further, right, we want to get all of the intervals of the large group. And it says a group is considered large if it has three or more characters. Boom. So as you can see in this string up here, or we can come down here, in this string down here, X has 4 characters, right? That's 3 or more. So this group right here of X's starts at index 3, right? Because this is index 0, 1, 2, 3. So it starts at index 3 and ends at index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So it goes from index 3 to index 6, and that's why we put these intervals right here. Boom. Now, say there were more groups, large groups, right? We would just add those intervals inside this 2D array as well. Boom. And we'll look at that at example 3. So let's take a look at example 2 first, where there are not any large groups. So in example 2, our input S equals a string ABC. The output is a blank array. Explanation says we have groups A, B, and C, none of which are large groups. So here, as you can see, A, B, and C, none of them have 3 or more characters of each. It's no 3 C's, there's no 3 B's, or 3 or more B's. There's no 3 or more A's, there's no 3 or more C's, right? There's only one A, B, and C. So since there are no large groups here, we just return a blank array. Boom. Now let's take a look at example 3, where there are multiple large groups. So in example 3, we have our input S equals a string A, B, C, D, 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 E, 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 A, B, 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 C, and D. Boom. The output is a 2D array of integers. First array is 3 and 5, then 6 and 9, then 12 and 4. They all represent the start and end index of each large group. So let's see what those large groups are. Explanation says the large groups are D, 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 E, 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 and B, B, B. Boom, y'all. So as you can see, the first group, D, 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 this is going to start at index 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So the D starts here, index 3, ends right here, index 5. Boom. E starts right here, index 6, ends right here, index 9. Boom. This is the second large group, right? So this, once again, this is the first large group. This is the second large group. Then the last large group, these 3 B's right here, start at index 12, end at 14. So that's where we get these intervals from in this 2D array. Boom, y'all. So I hope that makes sense. And now that we understand the question, let's get into the fun part, the actual solution. The solution is not that difficult at all. Now, First thing we're going to do is we need to keep track of the previous character we saw while iterating. Initialize with a placeholder value that likely won't match the first character in the string. So we'll come right here, declare variable called last. Then we'll say colon is going to be a character. And we're just going to set that equal to, open up the quotation marks and put in a capital A. Boom. Now we need to count how many times the current character repeats consecutively. So we could create a variable for that. We could call it, say, var count. We'll set that equal to 0 to start. Then we need to store the result, right? So as you can see, this output, we need to store this somewhere. And as you can see, it needs to be a 2D array. And so each element is going to be the start index and the end index, and it's going to represent the positions of a large group, that meaning or of size greater, equal than or greater than 3. But for now, all we need to do is declare a variable called ands, and we'll set that equal to a 2D array of integers, and then we'll come outside and put the parentheses like this. Boom. Now we need to mark the starting index of the current group of characters. So we can come underneath this and we could just create a left pointer. We'll declare a variable called left, set that equal to 0. Boom. Now we need to iterate through the string with both index and characters. So you know we're going to use enumerated for that to get the index and the character. So we're going to say for, open up the parentheses, I, comma, C, come outside of that, n, s dot enumerated, put the parentheses, open up the brackets, and if the current character matches the previous one, we are still inside the same group. So we're going to say if C equals last, we're going to open up the brackets and we're going to say count plus equals 1. Boom. Then we'll come right here and we'll say else. We're going to open up the brackets. And if the group that just ended has a length greater than or equal to 3, record its start and end indices. So we're going to say if count is greater than or equal to 3, we're going to open up the brackets and we're going to say ands dot append, open up the parentheses, square bracket, left, comma, I minus 1. Boom. Now we need to start a new group with the current character. So we'll come underneath this and we'll say last equals C. Boom. Then we're going to update the starting index for the new group by saying left equals I. Sorry, y'all. Boom. Then we need to reset the count since this is the first occurrence of a new character. So we can come underneath this and we can say count equals 1. Boom. Now after the loop ends, we must check the final group because it may also be a large group. So we'll come underneath this and we'll say if count is greater than or equal to 3, we'll open up the brackets and we're going to say ands dot append, open up the parentheses, square bracket, left, comma, left plus count minus 1. Boom. Then we're going to return all the large group positions found by coming underneath this. And we could say return ands, y'all. Boom. So let's go ahead and give this a run. Oh, sorry, y'all. Hold on. Before we give it a run, this if should end right here. Boom. So this if should end right here, not all the way down here. Boom. Now let's give it a run. Make sure that works. Okay, cannot come. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, sorry, y'all. This should not be an equal sign. This should be a plus sign. Boom. Now let's run it. Let's run it. Okay. Ooh, we got an extra. All right. Let's see. Let's see what this does. Okay. Okay, y'all. Let me see real quick because I think I messed up these brackets, but I think it's just supposed to be a bracket right there. See if that does the trick. Let's see. It's accepted, y'all. So let's go ahead and submit it. Make sure it's still accepted after we submit it. And I don't know what's going on, y'all. Oh, there it is. 0 milliseconds beats 100% of users. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. That's what I like to see. So before we go, make sure you get one more look at the code. This is the top part. This is the bottom part. And yeah, y'all, with that being said, I hope y'all learned something today, and I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.